Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another anime review. And today I'm going to share my thoughts on the 11th Bleach Blu-ray set, which contains episodes 280 to 308. Although in this video I'm going to talk up to 310 because that's where things end for this story arc. And my goodness, dude, this show is fucking awesome. And I'm recording this after the latest trailer was released for the new anime series Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, which is starting on October 10th. And I'll just say this right now. Once that anime starts, I'll be doing weekly episode reviews, so stay tuned for that. And awesome, man. After I saw that trailer, I've gone back watching certain fights, and it's just so good. But yeah, in the last review, I mentioned how I thought the Ulquiorra versus Ichigo fight was the best fight in the series. And I still stand by that, just because of the emotional weight with Odysee and Odysee being there. But I mean, the fight here with Ichigo versus Aizen, that's fucking awesome too. There's just so much going on. The whole opening there where you saw all the remaining captains, the captains who are still standing, going after Aizen one by one with their bankais, and then Rangiku crying over Gin. It's great, man. It's great. So again, spoilers, but I'm assuming you guys have watched the series and you're just watching this along with me. On the cover here, we have Sosuke Aizen with his Hogyoku form. Look at him with the long hair. Looks like a complete badass. On the back, we have the final Getsuga Tensho with Ichigo's latest form. Look at this, man. Look at him. Look at him. And then we also have some more characters, of course. We have Urahara, Kisuke Urahara, Shinji Haraka right there. We have Tenza Zangetsu. Oh my god, the glare. Tenza Zangetsu, Stark, and Gin. And Gin wasn't so bad after all, let's just say that. So again, here's Aizen with the Hogyoku form. And then a quote. Admiration is the state furthest from understanding. A quote from Aizen. I should have done. Admiration is the state furthest from understanding. That's like the Aizen. He does everything in almost kind of like a whisper. So, where we left off last time, we have different forces in Wako Mundo, different forces in Karakura Town, Aizen and the three strongest Espada wreaking havoc, and we have battle lines drawn. And then, Old Man Yama used Ryujin Jaka and trapped Aizen, so that will keep Sasuke and his cohorts at bay for some time. But then, of course, Wonder Boy showed up, and with his screaming, freed everybody. So now Kaname, Gin, and Aizen have joined the battle, but also the Vizard showed up. And the epic line from Shinji, where he's twirling around his hat, he goes, "Hello, Sosuke. It's been, about 100 years?" So we have more battle lines, and some of the Vizards join people. Like with Kyoraku, he has Ukitake in his corner as well. And then Love and Rose join him in battle. For who else is there? Toshiro, we have Lisa and Hiyori join him. And there's a hilarious line where, Toshiro kind of wants to do the fight by himself. And then Hiyori is like, "Oh, pervert," calling Toshiro a pervert. He's like, "How dare you call me a pervert? Oh, you keep touching me. Pervert!" It's just fucking hilarious. A great scene there of Hiyori. You have Hachi, who helps Soifone and Omaida versus Baragon, and Hachi's the Keto master, so he does all the Keto spells and traps Baragon in this enclosing, so that Soifone can use Jakaho Raikkoben, her Bankai again, to blast Baragon to smithereens. So we have all those great battle lines, and then you learn some more about the backstory of all the Espada with Halle Bell, how she was an Arankar, a Hollow, who lived in Wako Mundo, of course, and, was protecting the others. Her Fractiona, she was protecting them, and then Aizen agreed to let her join his army. With Baragon, he was the king of Wako Mundo, and because of Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu, his Zanpakuto, he was able to manipulate Baragon and have him join. Join us or else. And a great moment actually when Baragon's about to die, where he throws his axe at Aizen in a last-ditch effort, but it doesn't hit him. And you really see how the Espada are kind of conflicted beings, especially these three here, even more so of Ulquiorra as he died in the last Blu-ray. He was learning more about a heart and trying to open up to Orihime. So I almost feel like the Espada aren't so bad. And, Grimmjow, how he just wants to fight Ichigo. But we'll get to him later in another month or so, I guess. But anyway, what else did you have? Then Stark, he's the strongest of all the Espadas, and he was just a lonely man. So what happened was he split himself into two, himself and Lilynette, to have a friend. And then Aizen said, "Oh, you can have companionship with us." And as Stark's battling, he sees all the other Espadas dying around him, and he's like, "Lord Aizen doesn't even care." And he has that realization until he finally accepts defeat as well. And, I guess the designs of the characters with their Resurrection forms, just awesome stuff. And then elsewhere, you also have Yami, who's in Hueco Mundo, who is like, "Oh, you thought the Espada went from 1 to 10. Well, I'm Espada number 0. And it's Kenpachi and Byakuya fighting him in Hueco Mundo. And you also have scenes with Mayuri, who's just kind of watching, getting the Garganta ready. And then Byakuya has an awesome line to Ichigo saying, "Ichigo, Kurosaki, you must defend your hometown, Karakura Town, as the substitute Soul Reaper." And so Unohana, the healer, accompanies Ichigo through the Garganta, just the two of them, while the others are healing. And Kenpachi's wailing away at Yami, and she's healing him on their journey there, and says, "Oh, Ichigo could possibly be our trump card here, because he's never seen Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu." And Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu, his Zanpakuto, manipulates everyone. So because Ichigo hasn't seen it, he can't be manipulated. So yes, he's the hero, right? So anyway, as all this is going on, the Visors continue their battle, and Kensei uses his Bankai, and his Bankai is like this. His Zanpakuto is this little dagger almost, but it turns into these brass knuckles, and he just starts wailing away at Wonder Voice. You have Mashiro, who does Mashiro Super Kick going to town with Wonder Voice, and then Old Man Yama becomes trapped, and Aizen's like, "Oh, my ultimate plan was to extinguish your flame, old man." And the old man has epic lines to Aizen like, "Do you think you're the first fool who's attempted to thwart me? I have reigned over the Soul Society for over 1,000 years." And Aizen keeps prattling on with his plans, and when Old Man Yama gets free, he goes, "Quiet, boy." It's such an awesome line. "Quiet, boy," with his voice. I fucking loved it. So Old Man Yama starts going to town with Wonder Voice, and he learns that Wonder Voice was the key to extinguishing the old man's flames. And again, he's like, "You've tortured this poor boy," and that's exactly it. So Wonder Voice has no thought. All he does is just a tool in Aizen's arsenal of Arancars and Espadas to extinguish Yamamoto's flames. And the old man, he rips his shirt off, and he gets all muscular, starts beating away at this little guy. It's like, holy shit, dude. And then what happens is Aizen's ready to destroy Karakura Town again, and the old man sacrifices his arm to stop Aizen. And as he stops him, it's like, oh no, he's done. The old man's spent. So all the other captains start trying to attack him. And then with Aizen and his manipulation, Toshiro's ready to stab him. But because he's able to manipulate everyone's minds, it turns out Toshiro stabs, what the hell is the chick's name? Not Hiyori. Momo Hinomori, that's her name. God, all these fucking names, I'm getting confused. Momo. Toshiro Hitsugaya stabs Momo, and then he's beside himself, and he goes berserk. And so, the captains had a plan where they're all going to attack Aizen together, but then they all start going at him one at a time. And then Gin, he stabs and fatally wounds Hiyori, and it's like, no, everything's just falling apart. And then an epic line too with Shinji, where he's like, "Ichigo, why aren't you here?" It's like, oh no. But then Ichigo finally arrives, and he tries to go for a sneak attack, right? But Aizen blocks him, and he goes, "Ichigo Kurosaki, you had one opportunity, and yet you failed." And Aizen starts picking away at all the captains, just destroying them all. Ichigo can't do anything. And then Gin starts battling Ichigo, and he uses his Zanpakuto, which is the extending blade. It's so fucking badass, and he starts attacking Ichigo, but just sort of toying with him. And as all hope seems lost, all of a sudden, Isshin shows up, Ichigo's father, and he shows up, and Ichigo's like, "Dad, what are you doing here?" And he shows up and starts going to town. And his Bankai, his Zanpakuto is called Engetsu, which is pretty similar to Zangetsu, right? And goes to town. And then Urahara and Yoruichi show up, and they start fighting Aizen. But then it's not enough. Aizen makes his escape. Urahara starts using all his Kido spells, but it can't really do anything. Aizen escapes to the real Karakura town along with Gin. And, just crazy, man. Oh, God, I forgot. And then you had Kaname. You had Kaname going up against Komamura. And there's an awesome line, too, with Kaname, where he turns out to be a Rankar himself. And because Komamura's using his Bankai, he says, "A simple Bankai. Why would I need such a weak thing as that?" And he uses his Resurrection, and he turns into a fly. And, he's blind, so he can finally see. And he's like, "I can finally see you. You're just as ugly as I thought." And it starts battling him, and then Shuhei shows up and is able to get an attack from behind. And he says, as he stabs him, fatally wounds him, he says, "The old Captain Tosin would never be stabbed in the back. Despite being blind, he could always see." And, you learn that Kaname defected because his long-lost friend had been killed by a Soul Reaper and wanted retribution in that sort of way. And you sort of see peace there. And Aizen kills him. And actually, Aizen also but fatally stabs Hallibell. So Aizen just kills everybody and then eventually goes up against Ichigo and all of them. And goes back to Karakura Town. And then it shows Keigo, Tatsuki, and all their friends there who are running away from Aizen and Gin. And then to the rescue is Don Kanoji, who shows up. It's like, hell yeah, Don Kanoji. And then Rangiku makes her way there because of her connection to Gin. And then a final battle. And goddamn, I don't even know how to do this video with talking about all this stuff because there's so much fucking shit to cover. So I think the best thing I should do is just show you the screenshots. Because, that's probably the best way to cover these videos. So who the fuck knows what this even is. But we're going to go to the screenshots now because I'm a rambling mess and there's so much to freaking talk about. So we're doing that. So anyway, I'm not going to start recording over again. But I wanted to mention this too. It starts with episode 280. And there's a few expansion, which is fine. This is showing about Hallibell's past. But then you have these random fucking filler episodes, which I did like the filler episodes. But the only problem is they appear at these inopportune times. Like, they just appear out of nowhere. You get all these plot episodes, and then all of a sudden, oh, we get this. And this is actually a preview for the 4th Bleach movie. At the end of this episode, it says, oh, watch the Hellverse movie. And Zyle Opera appears in that one. And then you like the New Year's special, and it's like, what the hell? And the Hot Spring episode, yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I didn't really care for that. So, as far as the screenshots, I don't think there's any screenshots in this episode, which is kind of odd. But this is about Baragon, right? And Hachi traps him here so that Soifon can use her Bankai. Jakaho Rai Koben! And blast him away. And Hachi actually lost his arm in the fight. And look at this, dude. Baragon getting blown away. And that's a flashback to when Baragon was the king of Wako Mundo. Here's Stark. This is Love using his Shikai, which is like this giant club with nails sticking out of it. The Shikais and the Bankais are so badass. There's Rose. Stark again. He just looks so badass too. He gets stabbed by Kyoraku. Here he is again, getting stabbed. Yeah, the way Kyoraku's Zanpakuto works, he has 2 of them. And one gets him from the shadows and one gets him from higher ground. They're different sizes. One's really short and one's really long. The size of the blades. Striking him down. And that's the flashback when Aizen found them in Wako Mundo. And this is also Aizen. He slashes at Hallibell and says, I tire of this. You are of no more use to me. Showing what he cares of his comrades. This is Hallibell's backstory with, fuck. I clicked that. That's going to take too long to load, so fuck that. I'm not going to even show you the screenshots. This site is kind of glitchy, especially because I have a million tabs open. It's slowing things down. Alright, so here's Wonder Weiss getting attacked by Mashiro Kick! The way she says it is so cute. The way, like she charges it up. There's Kenzei protecting Mashiro. And he activates his Bankai. Let's see, is it on in the screen? Yeah, right here. It's called Tekken Takikaze! and it's, you know, a little dagger. It turns into like these. Well, they're not even brass knuckles. They're like knife knuckles. Hiyori stabbed by Gin. And this was an awesome moment with Shinji. Where are you, Ichigo? We need your help. And that's the rest of them in Hueco Mundo fighting Yami. So they continue the fight against Yami. Ichigo tries fighting him at first, but then all the others show up. And this is a great moment, too, where Ichigo uses his hollow mask. And the markings have changed because they were all on one side of his face, but now they're down the middle. Similar to his Vastalorde form. And he's afraid of this power now, by the way. So trying to use Getsuga Tencho. And Mayuri with Nemu and the Garganta. Like how nonchalant he is. Like, my. We will use Kisuke Urahara's tricks to use the Garganta. And Kenpachi and Byakuya teaming up. Look at Ichigo's face as he's getting punched by Yami. And that's Mayuri getting the Garganta all set up for Ichigo to go back. So here's Ichigo and Unohana going into the Garganta, making their way back to Karakura Town. Oh, there's Mayuri. I guess all the screenshots we have there. Here's more of the battle against Yami. Look how big this dude is. Jesus Christ. Here's Kaname with his Arankar form. Turns into a hollow. And Shuhei going after him. He stabs Shuhei. Why did we keep getting that picture of Mayuri? I tell you, man. I got all these freaking tabs open. And it's not working out. So here's Komamura with his Bankai. And he says, a Bankai? You think you could beat me with a thing as weak as a Bankai? And this is his Resurrection and he turns into a fly. It's creepy as fuck, man. Let me tell you. And here is Shinji using his Shikai. And he says, welcome to the inverted world, Sosuke. And it's so funny. So many like anime characters, mostly villains, do this when they activate a new move. And I know why they do it. They do it so that the audience or the reader like knows what the hell it does. But at the same time, you're telling your opponent what your ability is. And what Shinji does is he spins his Zanpakuto around to basically turn the world upside down to throw Aizen's senses off. But he reveals his whole plan in doing so, which is hilarious to me. And this was an epic moment when Shuhei finishes off Kaname and he says, you know, as a blind man, you could see everything, but with eyes, you can't see what's behind you. And Shinji's getting some hits on Aizen, but, you know, it's Aizen. He's the final boss. He can't stop him. And then Ichigo shows up. So, you know, he sort of tells Ichigo, oh, you had your chance and you blew it. You should have got me from behind while you could. You should have used your halification. Why did you not do that, Ichigo Kurosaki? And then here's all the remaining captains standing to fight. And, you know, Aizen's stopping them. So here's Lisa with her Shikai. It's like this giant spear and love. He's blocking his Zanpakuto as Lisa's going in for the attack. Cuts off Komamura's arm. Jesus Christ. And all the captains are no match against Aizen, that's for sure. No match. Even Soifan trying to use her Kido to make duplications of herself. Can't do anything. And yeah, this is where Toshiro, right, he stabs Aizen, but with his manipulation of Kyoka Suigetsu, it turns out it's Momo instead. And this completely breaks Toshiro. Cuts him in half. Fucking crazy, man. So, then old man Yama comes out, and he starts wailing away on Wonder Boys. You kind of see him here, where he takes his shirt off, and the old man is all muscular. He's like, oh, you simple boy, I will crush you. And Aizen's got the Hogyoku in him. And then he reveals to Ichigo that it is all according to my plan, Ichigo Kurosaki. I have thrown every opponent against you from the start. And it has a flashback of Gin and Aizen looking on as Ichigo fought all his opponents. So then Ishin shows up to the rescue. This was such an awesome... I got goosebumps the first time I saw this. This was so awesome of Ishin showing up. I fucking loved it. And then Gin, who's his Bankei, Kamashini no Yari. The way he says it is so badass, too. And it's like the extending blade cuts the freaking buildings down. Ichigo's no match for him. And then Urahara shows up with his hat. Mr. Hat and Clogs. That's what Ichigo called him at the start of the series. So he tries using his Kido. But, it's no match. And then Aizen holifies as well, similar to what Kaname did. And then Yoruichi shows up, and she was hot as hell, man. Her outfit, oh my god, she was so hot. Wailing away at Aizen. And, you have Urahara, Ishin, and Yoruichi all attacking him. And Ichigo can't do anything because he's fighting Gin. So here's more of the Kido spells. Ishin knows Getsuga Tensho. That's Aizen's latest form. And then they make their way to Karakura Town. So, what happens is they make their way into this other realm. What the hell is it called? The Dangai. And it's sort of like the Room of Spirit and Time from Dragon Ball, and that time doesn't pass. And Ishin says, you must meditate and talk to your Bankai, talk to Tensa Zangetsu, and figure out the final Getsuga Tensho. So Ichigo starts meditating, all while Keigo and Tatsuki are trying to rescue their other friends and run away from Aizen. And there's Tensa Zangetsu, who is a younger version of Zangetsu. And he has the same voice as the man who voiced Stark, Keith Silverstein. And there's also an epic moment, too, where Ichigo's hollow form, White Ichigo, shows up. And he's wearing, like, the Vasta Lorde hollow mask. And he takes it off and he says, "What's the matter, Ichigo? Don't act like you don't know me!" It's such an awesome line, man. That's him right there behind him. So, you got that. There's the human characters running from Aizen. And Keigo takes up a sword and tries to defend him, but, he's just a human. He can't do anything. And there's, Lord Aizen, I'll take care of them. And, yeah, that's right. So, he grabs a hold of Kyoka Suigetsu, right? He grabs a hold of Kyoka Suigetsu, and he betrays Aizen because from the start, Gin was in on it all, and he was against Aizen, and what a fucking reveal, man. I fucking loved it. And Gin tries to kill Aizen and reclaim the Hogyoku, and he has it, but then Aizen strikes him down because he regenerates, but it was such an awesome moment, dude. I love this freaking moment. Gin was such a cool character. I almost wish, they would have shown more, evidence that he would have pulled this move, because you see him early on, and then he's beside Aizen throughout the whole series until he finally betrays him, and it's like, oh my god, Gin, and just the way the dude looks, too. He looks like a complete badass. I fucking love Gin. The Snake, they call him. And then Gin, Rangiku's there, right? And she bids farewell to Gin as he passed away. And then Ichigo comes out of Dangai into Karakura Town. And like a year and a half has passed of his training inside the Dangai, which didn't pass in the real world. And you can see he has the longer hair, and his Zanpakuto is wrapped around his arm now. And he has his father, he's carrying him over his shoulders. It's like, look at this dude, man. Look how fucking badass he is. And he arrives, and he starts fighting Aizen, and blocks his Zanpakuto with his bare hand, showing how OP he is here. Slicing away at Aizen. Holy shit, dude. This was so fucking awesome. And then Aizen transforms yet again. Right? Look at this dude. Going to town on Ichigo. And then it does a flashback to inside when he was training with Tensa Zangetsu. And Ichigo's thinking Tensa Zangetsu could have ended this battle long ago, yet all he does is defend my attack. So what happens if I let him actually hit me? And he hits him, and he says to Ichigo, you know, what you want to protect isn't the same thing that I want to protect. I want to protect you. And he stabs him and is able to give him the ultimate power, the final Getsuga Tensho. And Ichigo does it and turns into Mugetsu. Turns into Zangetsu himself. And is able to defeat Aizen. This is one of, that's the final attack, right? And that's Aizen turned back to normal. And then Urahara seals him in this. And then, this is at the end here, when everyone's returning. And Mayuri's like, we are going to activate it now. And they're like, no, there's still people in there. We can't do it. We will do it now, you fools. And everyone's returning back to the Soul Society, Kenpachi, Byakuya. And Urahara reveals to Ichigo that by using that power, your Soul Reaper powers are no more. They could disappear tomorrow. They could disappear next week. They could disappear in a month, in a year. But they're not going to last forever, Ichigo. But you did the right thing, he says. And then his friends all come back all taped up. I love this scene, too. This is such a great moment. They're like, Ichigo, you're okay. And then Ichigo actually faints. And this is a hilarious moment, too, where the old man is scolding all these captains because they lost their coats. He says, what happened to your captain's coats? And I'm trying to think of what they said. I think Kenpachi said it's just like a cheap robe. Byakuya said it was nothing. And this dude said it was like a fashion statement or something. Kyoraku. So they're all getting scolded by old man Yama. And then Toshiro's training. And then it actually shows Aizen. This is the final canon episode. Let me see if I can find this of Aizen. It shows Aizen in getting questioned and sentenced to jail. And I want to see if I can find the screenshot. That's spoilers for 1,000-Year Blood War, but sorry. Because it's not the last we've seen of Aizen. I guess I'll find a manga image or something. It's gotta be down at the end here. Yeah! So they sentence Aizen to 20,000 years in prison Bukin! And then he starts laughing. Huh, you think you can pass judgment upon me? And it was such an epic scene, dude. And this is not the last we've seen of Aizen, let me tell you. Such an epic fucking scene. So that's the end of the Aizen arc. There's 2 more Blu-rays left for me to cover. One is all filler, but the final Blu-ray is the Fullbring arc, which is great. Gets panned by a lot of people, but I enjoyed the Fullbring arc. There are some filler episodes here. This is a funny one. Ichigo and the Magical Lamp, which is a side story. It's kind of random how these episodes appear. But it's cool nonetheless. And then this one, they were filming a movie. Look how cute Ruki is with her maid cop costume. So there you go. And this was one getting people hyped for the Hellverse movie. The New Year's special. In one of these episodes, I think it was actually the film one, the voice actor for Byakuya, for the first time, no other character has said it throughout the series, but in the afterword he says, this is commemorating the 10th anniversary of Bleach. And that was the first time I think anyone's ever said Bleach in the entire series. Like, they never mentioned it as far as the actual characters go, and they mentioned it in, like, the afterword there. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, here's my random thoughts video that, I don't know, does anyone even watch these videos? Who the fuck knows? So thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And stay tuned next week for my review of Blu-ray Set 12. I look forward to covering, I've seen this series now, and I've read the manga, so that's why I'm kind of all over the place. I look forward to reviewing the episode-by-episode 1,000-Year Blood War arc, because there's so much to say in one video about all these episodes, because so much shit happens. I mean, that's why I'm all over the place. So I apologize, but, you know, it's all out there now. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. So everybody, have a great day.